Hey guys, welcome. Chris, I love you. Welcome back to Starcastic Remarks. Along with Chris to my right, James to my left, my name is Ryan Chambers. We are the official Dallas Stars podcast of THPN, and we want to thank our sponsors, DraftKings Sportsbook and Raycon, for being our sponsors. Use that promo code THPN the next time you go and use their services. The Stars win by a final score tonight, guys, for the first time in 8 games, James says. Almost 2+ weeks ago by a final score of 4-2. Chris, go ahead.
We won! We won the game. We won in regulation. We didn't have to go to the overtime thing that we don't like.
So, what's your initial thoughts from this game, you guys? First thoughts.
I thought we played the exact same game that we played on Monday, but this time we won.
It's pretty close. I felt like there's obviously a lot more offensive talent on the Canucks than the Arizona Coyotes.
Yeah. And the Stars locked down the defense after the first period this time, unlike last game where it was leaky pretty much the whole game. This time they get 2 chances in the first period. They score on both. And after that, the Stars kept it pretty clean.
I have a mixed bag tonight. I can't be hypocritical. So I complained about the results last game and how even though they played really well and everything, they didn't play fantastic tonight, but I'm happy because they got the win and they got the result that they should have. And I don't want to say this was a turning point game because we thought that the Vegas game was a turning point game, but it finally looked like some of the bounces were going our way. Sometimes.
Well, and it still took like 5 post hits before we got there.
Yeah, it took us having a billion chances that should have gone in until we got a lucky break on the Heiskanen game winner.
Right. So, a couple of things to talk about before we even get into this game. Coming into this game, obviously they're talking about Jamie Benn. He's going to be honored for his 1,000th game in the game against Colorado. I mean, if you're the Dallas Stars organization, you can't put a better game to put Jamie's 1,000 game ceremony on because they're really struggling right now. This is the first big game they would have had in a while. So I'm looking forward to that game, hoping that the Stars can get some sort of extra intangibles out of that and try and win the game for Jamie Benn.
Yeah, I was about to say, you're wrapping it up right now. We just started.
I know, but I'm excited.
There's a game tomorrow, Ryan. There's a game tomorrow still.
I know. But the thing is I don't really care about this game and the game tomorrow. I mean, I expect to win. That's
today
great,
was important
okay?
Because they won. That's
exactly
why today was important.
Not
really, everything else doesn't matter.
Right, and if we can come in and win tomorrow night, that gives me a little bit more hope to see how they can match up against Colorado. And based off of the 2 teams and the way that they're playing right now, it's scary. We should be wiped. We should get wiped off the face of the earth with the way that Colorado is
directions.
Right. So, speaking of Ben, he's going into this game with 3 straight multi-point games. So good for him, and he continues to be the Stars' best player right now. Arizona has points in 10 of their last 12 games, so that was kind of a surprising statistic that I heard. Does that surprise y'all at all, hearing that?
They were on fire. In terms
for
of
Arizona.
Yeah, for Arizona, they were on a heater, man.
Yeah.
So
I mean, honestly, Arizona, I feel like is not a bad team. I mean, at least the way that they play. Talent-wise, obviously they're not there, but they play a good hockey game. Their forecheck tonight was very good pretty much the entire game. And in the first period especially, it really caused problems for the Stars.
So the other thing we got to mention is Dallas is tied in the NHL for the most games going past 60 minutes. So going to overtime and shootout, which surprises us not at all, right? And thankfully they don't have to see the last 5 minutes of the game tonight because the last 5 minutes were the last 5 minutes of the third period. No, not freaking overtime.
That's much better.
So that was much, much better. I also want to talk about the power play for a second because they highlighted this, and this was kind of a startling statistic to see. So right now, the Stars power play, the last 9 games, they're 2 for 31, or I guess 2 for 33 33, 3 for 33, something like that. I'm not sure.
It's 32.
Did they get a power play goal tonight?
Yes.
They got a
Yeah,
power
they
play.
did.
Right. Okay, so 3 for 33, something like that. So that's hovering just around 7%.
Yeah, it's
That
bad.
is scary.
But what's
Then-
good is that those last 3 have come within the last 5 games.
Mhm.
Which is showing
So-
hopefully some momentum,
Yeah.
even if it's like baby steps.
And almost every power play the Stars had tonight looked fantastic.
I
And
mean,
it's been
Sagan
looking
should have
great for
scored
the past week.
on another one too. Like, he hit the shaft of a stick.
Yeah, Sagan should have had 5 goals tonight.
Oh my
Okay,
word.
since you already opened the bag, why can't Sagan shoot like that every single time?
Well, I mean,
It was all night long
I mean,
too.
he-
but why doesn't he just shoot like that every single time? That's what we begged Garrionoff to do when he was still here, and he didn't do it for 3 years. And like his most highlight reel goal of all time when he was with the Stars was the Game 5 winner against the Vegas Golden Knights in the bubble, and that shot was like over 100 miles an hour. And then tonight we saw Sagan do it. That was over 90 miles an hour. I mean, is it really that hard to ask the Stars
no,
to do the one timer more often like that? Put
I-
Sagan on the half wall more often?
I think it's a confidence thing. And especially now that we have Dodonov, who obviously is very comfortable in that bumper role in the high slot on the power play. When Sagan's over there, we need to do that once a power play when the second unit gets out. Like, that should be a consistent thing that you try at least one time.
Especially
So-
for the second unit.
Especially for the second unit. When Sagan is objectively the best player on that second unit, he needs to be the
is.
guy to take the puck and score the goal. He needs to be like, "This is mine. I'm going to score it."
I would argue he, other than Jamie Benn, he's one of the better Dallas Stars through this slump.
Oh, absolutely.
Would you agree
Hintz
with that?
has still been ridiculous, honestly.
Hintz
The amount
is-
of goals that Hintz misses and he still is scoring is stupid right now.
Yeah, I know that is
It's really
true.
been Hintz,
Yeah,
Ben,
very
and
true.
Sagan through the slump.
Anyways, getting back to the power play, we kind of went a little tangent rabbit hole there for a second, but they broke it down by 20 games because we are 60 games into the season at this point. The first 20 games of the season, they were 30.4% on the power play. That is absolutely
That's good.
ridiculous. That is stupid. The next 20 games, so game 21 to 40, 24.6%. So falling back to earth a little bit, but still very respectable and still very, very, very good. So every 4 power plays they were getting in that stretch, at least one was going in the back of the net during one of those power plays. And then it just completely falls off. In the last 20, they're 12.3%. And then we mentioned the fact that they're 7% in the last 9 games. So what's been the degression of the power play from the beginning of the season till now? What are they doing? What are they not doing now that they were doing at the beginning of the season? What do y'all think?
A stat they showed on post game, if y'all checked it out, they're not shooting as much. During the slump when they were like 2 and 24, like going back to middle December. They were averaging 4 power play shots a game. Now, recently, since they started picking up the power play scoring again, they are averaging 9 shots on the power play. So that's really it. Get the puck on the net. And then tonight we saw a lot of this. Get the puck on the net and then dive at the goalie and shove it in.
Yes, I
And
love that.
And they did that. And that's
I
what James
loved
has been
seeing
saying
that
for the past
tonight.
2 weeks.
I think the biggest thing that we're missing, and I think this is just not on the power play only, but we've seen the shooting percentage of the entire team go down like dramatically. I don't know if you've seen that statistic. It's
really
again kind of startling like this. They're just not shooting from the point as much. And I mean, one of the things that I remember talking about at the beginning of the season before we started was that's what DeBoer likes to do. He likes to get it deep, win the puck battle, throw it up to the D-man, and throw it on net. And whatever happens, happens. You get a lucky bounce. If it gets blocked, okay, that's fine. Go do it again, but don't let it get blocked by the first person every single time. I think that's been the biggest thing that the Stars have gotten away from the beginning of the season till now. And I think it's on 5-on-5 and on the power play.
And we've done it a lot more recently. I mean, the past 2 games, we have a bajillion shots. So it seems like we're getting back to it.
One of the comments that was up here earlier, I think it was might have been from Brooke, was Miro shooting a lot more tonight. Yes, he definitely was. And that's something that I've actually seen over the last, I would even say maybe 20 games that we've seen from Miro as he started shooting more. And
he led the team in shots on goal with 5.
Well, there you go. Exactly. And I mean, that's what we need to see from him. And I'd love to see Lundqvist do that more often too. But
Ryan, you muted yourself somehow.
My bad.
That's
somehow.
impressive.
I don't know how I did that. How did y'all think the Stars played in the first period, to be honest, guys?
I thought they couldn't get out of their own zone. What's upsetting is that I didn't think it was terrible. I thought they gave up 2 good chances and the Coyotes scored on both. Like, I didn't think it was great, but I didn't think it was bad.
I was annoyed mostly because we did only give up 2 chances. There were only 3 shots on goal, I think, after the first period, right? There were 5. There were 5. Yeah, 5 after the first period.
But, when it was 2-0, there was only 3 shots, though.
Yeah. I mean, when you only give up 3 shots, there probably shouldn't be 2 goals on that.
But you go back and you watch those goals, there's nothing Otter can do. I mean, the first one, it's in the middle of the slot, just sitting there, and no one clears it out. I mean, it's not good defense by the first line. And the second one it's just a great shot. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. It was a fantastic shot by Clayton Keller. He skates across the ice to screen Otter and then rifles it far post and in. I mean, it's just a good shot. It's just annoying because those are the 2 chances. The 2 chances and they score on both.
I'm going to slightly disagree with you guys on this because I thought the Stars got outplayed by a lot in the first period.
They didn't, though, Ryan.
And no, they did.
They got outscored, and we couldn't get out of our own end. But I mean, the Coyotes didn't look dangerous at all.
That's not true.
That is true.
No,
they had 5 shots on net.
Okay, but when you look at the fact of how the game went, where was the majority of the time being spent in the first period? It was not in Arizona zone.
I think the ozone time was about even.
After the first period. And I think there was more time spent in the Stars zone than in the Arizona zone. And the thing that frustrated me more than anything, and this is something that has gone on time and time and time again with these guys recently, they just get out hustled. And I forgot what I wrote down what Razor said, but okay, so this is what I wrote. Dallas is behind again to another bad team, and the other team is playing hyper aggressive, and that's something that we've seen multiple times. And you can't tell me that they didn't get outplayed in the first period. They definitely got outplayed in the first period. No,
if you only allow 5 shots, the other team did not have a good period. I don't care if they scored 2 goals. They didn't have a good period. They capitalized on their chances. They executed very well, but you can't say that they were completely outplayed. I'll take that it was even split and it was a close period, but the Stars were not flat out outplayed. We doubled them up on shots.
No, highly disagree.
Extremely. You need to go rewatch that period, Ryan, now after we've won the game. I think you are just upset because we kept losing.
I agree.
No, that's not true.
Go watch the first period again.
Because we won the game, and I'll be honest when I say this, I'm thinking more level-headedly. And again, this is why I said that I just need to be happy with the results of the game because I don't want to be a hypocrite because of what I said last podcast episode. They won the game here tonight. I'm happy about that, and I should be happy about that because they played an excellent second and third period. But that first period, they were outplayed. They were outplayed.
How do you explain they were outplayed when they outshot them by twice as much?
Yeah,
one of y'all said it yourselves. The Stars couldn't get out of their own zone. Multiple times they could not get out of their own zone.
That was the best forechecking period for the Coyotes, but we still outshot them 2-1. How do you explain?
We played bad, but I don't think the Coyotes played good either.
That's not true.
I just want you to explain how we outshot them 2-1, but they still destroyed us.
Okay, but sometimes just following the shots on goal is not indicative of how the period went.
But then you have to explain the shots on goal then. If you're going to say we got destroyed, you can't just say, oh, we got destroyed and just ignore shots on goal.
I'm not saying we got destroyed. I'm not saying we got destroyed. I'm saying we got outplayed. They were ultra. Sorry, go ahead, James. Go ahead.
If you want to point something out about that period, the Coyotes had 3 power plays in that period, and we still outshot them 11-5. So And the last half of the period was spent on the penalty kill. I mean, they had 3. We had 3 penalties in the first period. 3 in the first.
But guys, they came out flat again.
How? I don't understand. You're still not explaining the shots.
I can't explain the shots. You're right. I can't explain the shots, but like I said, sometimes throwing the shots is not indicative of how the play in the first went. Like 90% of the time, you can look at the shots in the period and say, okay, this team was better than this team in this period because this team had 12, this team had 5.
Yeah.
Okay, and especially the Stars in the second and third period. Yes, I agree, but they were not good at all. Guys.
I'm not saying they were good, but they did not get.
They were getting outworked. They were losing every puck battle. They could not get out of their own zone. There was one instance in particular. I gotta find it.
I mean, they got outworked a lot of times. I agree. We lost a lot of puck battles. We don't have to point out one specific.
And that is why it was a bad period for the Stars. They came out flat. I honestly thought.
Just saying that the total got outplayed, I just don't think is fair. But we're just gonna disagree on this. We have to move on.
Okay. Well, but what I will say is, I was getting really, really hacked off at Marchment in the first period.
Marchment
absolutely
he had some bad passes.
100%,
especially in the defensive zone.
I was ready to. I'm sorry. At the end of the first period, I was just like, I should have been mad, and I wasn't, because I was just so like, this is Stars hockey now. They're just losing everything to bad teams, and the Marchment. There was one instance at 7:17 in this first period where Marchment turned the puck over and made a really bad play. Suter did the exact same thing and turned the puck over in the same, like within 5 seconds of each other. And it led to the Stars going on the penalty kill because they could not get it out of the zone. And it was because of the hyper-aggression of the Arizona Coyotes going into the zone. Okay?
I thought that was more how they got outworked. Passing by Marchment, but...
Okay, but anyways...
I think more of me and Chris's point, though, is that's not outplaying a team. We outplayed ourselves in the first period is more of what I think would be accurate.
Yeah. I'm not saying we were good at all in the first period, by the way. That was definitely the Stars' worst period, without a doubt. But, I mean, to say that the Coyotes did a bunch of stuff correctly,
is not true.
No.
I thought
you only get 5 shots in a period, you didn't have a good period.
Nah, I thought they had a good period. But we'll move on because we're just going to keep arguing. Yeah, we're right in a loop here. Yeah, Ardell, that's exactly right. I think we're in a loop here. But let's go ahead and get into the 2 goals there, because I mean, like y'all said, both Hayton, perfect shot, Keller, perfect shot, 2-0 Arizona at the end of the first period. Other than the way they played, I skipped over the goal because I'm not looking at my notes. See, this is why I take notes, because I don't pay attention. Yeah. Hintz did score, and I think that was a big turning point in the game, because if the Stars go into the first intermission down 2-0, I think this game is very different by the end of it.
That was just great work by Robertson on the boards there. He stick lifts the dude, passes it behind. He gets a little lucky that it bounces off a defender, but I mean, throw the puck in front of the net, good things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And someone's waiting there this time because it's off the face-off.
Yeah. Just fantastic by Robertson. Won the loss.
Yeah.
And then the Stars, I don't know what they did in between the first and second period. I thought it was a bad first period, but coming into the second period, I don't know, fire got lit under their butt or something, or they finally decided to play hockey, because it didn't even take 11 seconds, and Hintz puts Dallas on the power play. Holy crap, Tyler Seguin. We already talked about it, but he scores the power play goal. It's a one-timer, and Daddy Dadonov, he gets his second point in as many games in a Dallas Stars uniform. So everybody that said, oh, this is such a bad trade for the Dallas Stars, it's already paying off.
2 points in 2 games.
Exactly.
Definitely not a bad trade, but since I wasn't here for the trade talk Monday night, I do think it's not really enough when you're looking around the league at what other teams are doing. Everyone else is making big moves for those cup contenders. You got to do something before March 3rd at 3 p.m. comes around, in my opinion.
The one thing that was frustrating to me in the press conference that Jim Nill did, I don't know if y'all watched it. It was like 15 minutes long or something like that. he's like, oh, well, look at the West. The West is like much less weaker, basically, is what he's saying. He's much less weaker than the Eastern Conference. We only have to play one Eastern Conference team if we make the Stanley Cup final. And I'm like, well, that's a great way to think about it. I'm just like, let's be the best of the losers. I mean, it's like, I guess let me go ahead and ask the question. Do you expect the Stars to do anything going into Friday? Because at first I was thinking yes, but as all of these dominoes fall, Chikrin's off the board, Kane's obviously off the board. I mean, all of these guys are off the board. Maybe somebody comes out of the shadows just like Dodonov does, and we don't expect it, and it's a really big trade, and it's a great trade for the Stars, but I'm really starting to lean more 50-50 whether the Stars are going to do anything else now.
Yeah,
I still think that we're gonna get a defenseman, but it's probably not going to be a big name.
Yeah, I don't. If I'm a betting man, I'm saying we're not gonna pick anyone up. But I think that's the wrong decision. I think you need to make a move. I mean, the defense, especially recently, has been atrocious. It was a lot better tonight, by the way. A lot of guys had good nights on the blue line, but there's so many obvious holes. And we're the top. By the way, we are still the first place team in the Western Conference.
No,
Not by much, but we
not
still
by
are.
much. But we're still there after such a terrible run.
My gosh.
You should be saying,
Thank
all
you,
right, let's go win a cup.
Winnipeg.
You should be saying, okay, let's go win a cup. Let's get rid of these assets that'll come in the future in like 5 years and give it up for something that can help us win right now. And
Okay,
I feel like we're not doing it.
Let's phrase what you're talking about. What are you willing to give up?
Anything except for Stankoven and probably not Bork unless it's great.
I would be willing to give up Bork just because I think our forward depth, prospect-wise, is pretty good. I would not be willing to give up Harley at this point because we're so weak when it comes to defenseman depth right now.
We can't.
And he's
give him
looked
up.
really good in the AHL this year.
Yeah.
So
I would say I put Harley in the same place as I put Bork.
And most of the reason for that is just because we basically only have 6 defensemen right now. I mean,
yeah, with how bad Hanley has played recently, yeah.
There are some other defensemen down in Cedar Park. There's a really big guy. His name is Alex Petrovic, who's done really well. He's 6'4", like 240, I think. Really big body. But he's still a liability defensively, and I've seen some pages around the Stars media. Well, I shouldn't say Stars media. Stars fan media, I guess you could say, that have said, oh, well, let's just bring him up and let's throw him in place of Suter. I think Suter would be better than Petrovic, and that's saying something.
Well, so I think something like that needs to happen. If we don't make a trade deadline move, someone
has to come up. Yeah.
Someone's got to come up to at least try to.
Yeah, no, I think if we don't get a defenseman, then Harley should play some of the last few games of the season.
Agreed.
Okay. So after that goal, we're back to the game already. We're going down rabbit holes left and right, but that's okay.
It's perfect.
Sagan can't score again. He gets denied by the skinny part of Ingram's stick, and I'm just like,
oh my goodness,
that was ridiculous.
I swear, this is getting stupid.
Ingram had so many lucky saves tonight. He was good, but he had 3 like insanely lucky saves that he didn't even know that he stopped.
And we already mentioned it too, but all the posts that we hit tonight.
Yeah, I would say there's 5 posts and 3 lucky saves.
One of the posts was kind of on the outside, so I guess it doesn't really count because it wouldn't have gone in anyways. But the other 3 were definitely, especially that back-to-back from Henson Robo. Just like,
can't believe they both did it.
Yeah,
they both did it.
And I don't know if you watched Rope's face, but he's just like,
yeah, he just died.
Like what the heck? Like, what's going on here? So, anyways, and I mean, I'm just writing down Johnson chance, Karlstrom chance, and in the entire second period, the ice was completely tilted against the Arizona Coyotes towards their own goaltender, and Connor Ingram is trying his absolute best to make sure that nothing goes in. So, I mean, I thought that the second period was much better than the first.
The second period is the way the first period should have been.
But here's the frustrating thing. This has been I guess you could say, a constant thing lately. The first period really sucks, or is average in y'all's opinion. And then the second period is just absolutely excellent, but they don't execute, which is exactly what happened again tonight.
The exact same thing, yeah. And that's exactly what happened last night.
Yeah, so I felt better going
yeah.
into the second intermission, but that dagger in my stomach is still kind of like, I still don't trust this team. So, what did y'all think about the Stars play in the third period, and how was it different in tonight's game compared to like the previous month, where they've just absolutely been terrible in the third period?
It was a great third period, and
Yeah.
the only thing that changed was the aggression. They said we
They
are
didn't-
going to score,
Yeah, they didn't wait for the other team to score the first goal this time.
and they didn't try and not screw up. They weren't like, "Oh, we don't want to mess this up." They said, "Okay, we're gonna go win the game. We don't care if we screw up. We're gonna go try and score a goal and win the game because we can't win in overtime, obviously." But they need to do that every time. I mean, you need to come out in the third period looking to score, not looking to play good and
it wasn't
lock
even
down. We need to score.
It wasn't even a good goal. I mean, we just threw it at the net, and we had a bunch of people in front of the net, and it went in.
Well, before that, the hockey gods had plenty of chances to give us highlight reel goals, and they refused. So,
oh, and it had to hit both the post and the crossbar before it went in. So.
Well, it hit the defenseman, the goalie, the post, and the crossbar, and then it went in.
4 things before it went in the net.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, Miro Haskins, such a sniper.
Yeah, exactly. But and that was going to be my point exactly. Is they're just throwing the puck at the net, even if it doesn't look like they have a chance. But it went in. It finally went in. It was a lucky bounce, and as soon as that goal went in, and I realized we got a lucky bounce, everything just I felt like a flush of relief in my body, because I'm thinking, okay, we finally got a lucky bounce. We're gonna win the game tonight. So that's just when I knew we were gonna win.
I don't think it's just them throwing the puck at the net, because they did that the last 2 games too, and it wasn't working great. They were getting to the front of the net tonight. They were standing there, and they were getting in Ingram's face.
And even on this Heiskanen goal, Marchment's right there to make the deflection. He just missed. So instead, we shot it off the defenseman. But either way, it's a good shot. It's not. I wouldn't say we're just throwing things at the net. We're not just taking stupid shots. I feel like we're taking a lot of shots. And we're taking a lot of good shots. And honestly, we're not shooting good enough. We're missing the net too much.
Yeah. And the Golden Knights game is kind of where I see the big difference, because the Golden Knights game, we still had 42, 43 shots, but we're not stopping in front of that. We're not tipping any of those. We're not getting rebounds off of those most of the time. And that's where this game was really different. We were getting rebounds. We were getting in front of the net, fighting for position in front of their net, not just keeping them out of ours.
And let me also mention, that's not the only thing we did good in the third period. We did a lot of good things in the third period. We locked it down defensively, which is something we didn't see them do, like specifically against like Chicago with all those 2-on-1s, which was absolutely ridiculous. And then the game against Vancouver, where we just couldn't play defense to save our lives, and Otter just couldn't make a save to save our lives, because they've got guys that can put the puck in the back of the net there in Vancouver. I still don't know how they're such a bad team. I agree with you 100%, Chris.
Because they can't play defense. They can't play
still,
defense. I mean, they had a 2-goal lead on us.
Still good goal.
And they had a 2-goal lead on us, and I knew that we were going to fight back in that game.
Yeah. Moving on, back to the action. Okay. We also had a great penalty kill. The penalty kill was fantastic at the end of the game. Super clutch, especially when you don't have 2 of your best penalty killers. Well, actually, we didn't have 3 of them because Fox had took the penalty.
That's true.
Our entire line of penalty killers we couldn't use.
There we go.
So there's a couple of guys here without goals for long durations of time at this point now. The first one I want to mention is the lesser of 2, because he's just been so good over the past 3 or 4 years, and he's old and he shouldn't be this good at his age. But Joe Pavelski, he's now gone, I think it's 16 or 17 games without a goal. And I normally would be kind of frustrated with that, but you also have to look at the circumstances, is that eventually he's going to slow down. And I hope we're not seeing that digression now. But he's still an effective player.
Yeah.
And I think
he still has like 8 points in those games too. It's
not
like he's not getting assists. He's feeding people still.
Yeah. So I think eventually we will see him on that line replaced by somebody. I don't know. Maybe Stankoven. I don't know. But eventually he will be replaced. I would even say probably next year.
I think Sagan's going to end up on that line. I kind of expect it.
As a winger?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, yeah. I mean, you got Johnston.
Well, Johnson and Ben kind of. I mean, they're both centers. Let's be honest. And I mean, that's kind of how Fox and Glendening do it too. When Glendening and Kiviranta are in together.
Either way, I think y'all are packing it in too soon on old Pavelski. I think his problem is he's just not shooting.
That's true.
No, but he
well,
is
it wasn't
shooting.
last game. Last game he was.
Yeah, well, he had a lot of chances in this first period that he passed up and tried to. I mean, the first power play that we had, he passed up a good shot to try and get a slam dunk that was covered. I mean, take the shot. You're right in front of the goalie. Shoot the puck. And he did it again on, I think, another power play too. So I feel like he needs to shoot.
Well, I mean, does he really need to shoot though? Honestly, if he's still getting assists and he's feeding Heiskanen and
when he's passing up good scoring chances, yes.
Okay, that's fair.
He needs to score goals still.
He did. No, it wasn't tonight's game. He hit the post. It was Monday, right? It was Monday. He hit the post. Okay, so
everyone hit the post within the last 2 games.
Yeah, so. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Anyways, let's move on because we're already getting late. We gotta talk about Marchment, and I know we talked about him and how frustrated I was with him in the first period, with some really bad turnovers, and especially that first penalty was absolutely stupid.
4 penalty minutes tonight.
And I was really frustrated with the Miller penalty at the end of the game that the Stars took because that was a stupid call. But that first call was 100%. I mean, that's the easiest call anybody could make. You could have a 2-year-old out there, and the 2-year-old would be able to make that call. Yeah. So, go ahead.
He's starting to look like Guryanov, which is a very scary thing to say. But he's still getting chances, and he's just not bearing them, and he's still screwing up big time in his own zone. So,
and he does hit a post tonight too.
Yeah, and he had 3 shots on goal, and 2 of them were saved by the tippy top of Ingram's glove. So it's not like he's not getting chances. He's getting chances, and he's getting honestly good shots on goal. The goaltender has been stoning him recently. Still,
and I do think that he could be at that kind of the dam thing that we talk about.
He's had so many.
When the dam breaks,
he's had so many chances.
That's an inside joke for all of y'all.
Oh man, we'll have to tell that story eventually one day. But well, to be honest with you though, James, one of those chances was at the end of the game when it was kind of pointless. In my opinion,
it's not pointless for Marchment though.
That is not at all.
Okay, that is true. I didn't think about that. Just to get
that's
the monkey
why
off
Sagan gave it to him. Sagan had the hat trick chance at the end of the game. He's like, "No, score it."
And then Ingram's like, "No."
Marchment said no. He was like, "Nah, I'm good."
No, it was a good shot. It was a good shot.
It was a fight.
And
by the top
he got it.
Glove.
He got it with like the cheater part of the glove right here. So he got lucky. Okay, I do want to talk about one thing before we go because I thought this is worthy to talk about. It's NHL stuff. Is that okay? We do one quick thing, like 5 minutes?
Dang.
Okay.
Everyone got traded.
Yeah, everyone got traded, but there's a lot of trades. We're not going to talk about them. We'll talk about them another time because we did a long episode on Wednesday or on Monday.
Another long one.
But I was absolutely shocked when I woke up this morning and saw the Los Angeles Columbus Blue Jackets trade. Did y'all hear about that?
Which one?
So, I guess that's true. So Gavrikov and Korpisalo, they go to the Los Angeles Kings, and in return, Columbus got a conditional first round pick, I believe. I think it's like top 10 protected or something like that. But they just have to make the playoffs. Wow. Okay. Well, that's the first round pick then, hopefully, for them. And then Jonathan Quick, after 16 seasons, and I mean, this is his last year. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of this. He gets traded. I was absolutely bewildered, shocked.
Well, if you've seen his season, I don't think you would be. He's had one of the worst seasons ever.
Well, the thing Ryan is shocked at is because he's been a King for so long, not just the fact that he's playing bad. But
he has been a King longer than Jamie Benn has been a Dallas Star, and that's saying something.
And that's just the nature of the beast in the salary cap era is really what it is. I mean, if you're an unrestricted free agent, you're not providing value to the team. It doesn't matter who you are. You're getting traded.
And that's fine and everything. But the thing is from a pure hockey trade standpoint, you look at the stats and everything, that was the right move to make.
Yep.
Right.
It was. And that's what sucks about it more, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. Because I like Jonathan Quick. He
Yeah.
was a prime example of why the Kings won in 2012 and 2014.
Yeah, it's a crappy situation, and you have nobody to be mad at.
Well, the thing is, and that I'm still surprised they did this because yes, it made sense from a hockey standpoint, but you also have to look at the team chemistry standpoint because you have to look at the fact that he's been around for a long time, and according to reports on Twitter from some of the top insiders in the game, a majority of the team was very hacked off. Not just Quick. Obviously, Quick was hacked off because he's going from a playoff team to a team that's definitely not going to be making the playoffs. But is that something that could mess with team chemistry and the team gets all pissed off and everything? And then going into the playoffs, they don't perform as well just because the GM, who is Rob Blake, one of the greatest defensemen in Colorado history, makes a stupid trade like this. Could that affect them?
It absolutely could affect them, and this is
Will
going to
it?
sound
I guess
really weird.
Will it is a better question.
Will it? I don't think so, but it definitely could. But I don't think that's the GM's job, to be honest. The GM's job is to give the coach the best team he can. That trade objectively makes the Kings a better hockey team.
It makes them
Not
ridiculously good.
objectively.
Have you seen how
Makes them
good
better.
Corpuscello has been?
Yeah.
He has a
Lately.
913 on a bad team.
He's been better lately, especially toward in the last 20 or 30
Either
games.
way.
At the beginning of the season, he was still pretty
He has
rough.
an even record
Either way,
on the worst team in the league.
the GM's job is to make the team better. He did his job. The coach's job is to figure out how to make that good team play good.
And I guess that's fair. So
No, I don't think this is going to affect them if Corpuscello plays as good as he was playing.
That's a big key.
and
Blue Jackets,
that's
because
and-
the Kings goaltending has sucked all year long. It's
With
been a disaster.
with a little bit
and-
of good time from Phoenix Copley. He had like a really good stretch for like I think
And-
maybe 3 weeks or something. And then he's been
And then he's
average at best since
he-
then.
I think he's been worse than average, but and if you get a good goaltender like that and you have someone playing with you who's that much better than the goaltenders who you had, I mean, honestly, they could be first in the West right now if they had the goaltending.
Yeah, well, they definitely would be. They're only 1 point behind us. Well, actually, they might be 3 points now. I haven't
No,
double checked.
they're one. They're 1 point behind us.
So
I've seen some arguments that this could make them first in the West, but I mean, I still don't think so. I think Vegas is still going to take it. But anyways, I just wanted to talk about that because I thought that was really interesting, and I didn't want to wait to talk about it. But
Want to do biggest winners and biggest losers?
yep, that was going to be my next thing. So biggest winner, biggest losers tonight, guys. What do y'all think?
not me first.
Biggest
Okay.
winner is Tyler Sagan. That dude's a beast. He was on a mission tonight. He won that game for us.
Yep.
Am I going next?
Yeah, you're going next. Sorry.
You still don't have one? Okay. I will go with I guess I'll go with Jamie Benn. I'll go with Jamie Benn. Because no, I take it back. I'll give it to the new guy. Evgeny Daddy. He's been good. He's been very
He has
good.
been
And it's not maybe it's just because I'm noticing him more because he's the new guy and I'm kind of paying attention to him more. But especially in the offensive zone, he's doing a lot of things that the Stars exactly needed somebody to get going to help this team get more goals, especially lately. So I really appreciate that from him.
And he's playing like he's really excited. I mean, who wouldn't be going from a bad team
Yeah.
to the first team in the West? But he just looks super just
Yeah.
jittery to get back out on the ice and score.
Especially for a person who wasn't expecting to get traded at all. I mean, he had a no trade movement clause.
Well, he had
That is true. He
had a 10
chose
10 list, no trade.
yeah, but
no, I'm still,
maybe the Stars were on his list.
They weren't. He said it in an interview. The Stars were not
I-
on
okay.
that
I
list.
thought that was a joke. I thought he had a full no trade movement.
No, he had a 10 team.
Are you
Positive.
sure?
Positive.
But
I'm-
there's a
kinda wanna go
no
look at
trade
it now.
clause and then there's a no
Right.
move clause. So the no move clause, like you can't be put in the minors and you also can't be traded to anybody without your consent. The no trade clause is like you can have like a list of like 10 teams or 15 teams that you don't want to get traded to, and then the GM of the team that you're on can still trade you to the other 15 or however many teams there are remaining. So that's just what it is.
My biggest winner is the first line. Yep. They finally did first line things. They were by far the best line on the ice tonight.
I still think we need more from them, though. For this team to be really good, I still think we need a little bit more from them.
For sure. When you play good teams, you need them to be the best against the other team's best line, too. They didn't really face a first line tonight. But still, it's good to see them getting going. They drew a lot of penalties. They scored a goal. Good.
Biggest loser?
Mason Marchment, dude. Score a goal and stop playing like poo.
My biggest loser is Mason Marchment until he scores. Every game is going to be Mason Marchment unless he scores a goal. Right now. Started.
Well, I don't want to be boring and choose somebody and choose the same person. So
nope, choose Mason Marchment. He has 4 penalty minutes. No goals. No assists. He deserves it. Give it to him.
Yeah.
The trifecta!
Yeah. I can't think of anybody else that had
tonight.
I mean, Suter had the one turnover that I noticed, but he still wasn't like gosh awful terrible tonight.
No, he still had a good game overall. He had some really good defensive plays to make up for that.
He did. And
his first period sucked.
That is true. I forgot it was in the second or third period. He had a really big block or something like that. It looked like it was going to be a 2-on-1, and he stopped a good pass.
The Blue Liners were all fantastic tonight. I mean, even Lundqvist. I mean, he made some really great. I mean, especially when the Coyotes were pressing us, Lundqvist just take the puck and skate it, just like all of our defensemen should be doing. Every time we pressure, skate.
Okay, I think we need to wrap it up because we could keep talking for a while because it was a good game tonight. Let me rephrase that. It was a good second and third period, mostly for me. The Stars still have some things to figure out. Hopefully, this is the turning point for them. They actually get a regulation win for the first time in 8 games, and maybe this is the turning point that we were talking about that we thought was the Vegas game.
You know what I'll tell you if it's a turning point or not? If we win tomorrow. Suck on back-to-backs. You're playing a bad team. Go win tomorrow. That'll prove to me that you turned a corner.
And they're historically bad in back-to-backs. I mean, not just this year. The last couple of seasons, they've been kind of rough. I guess I need to look back.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, I don't know if that's
disagreeing with me. Over the past 10 years, I think we've been bad back-to-backs in like 8 of them.
Yeah, it's felt that way that we've been really bad. But, okay, do we want to do an extended episode tomorrow to talk about the trades?
I mean, we've already done 3 extended episodes this week, so why not?
we're at 43 minutes at this point, so okay. All right,
I'm sure we'll do another one on Saturday anyway.
Yeah. Every day.
Every day. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do that. I don't know how what's his face from Locked On Stars does that, but it's like every single day he does like a 20 or 30-minute episode. I'm like, dude, how do you have time for that? Anyways, I guess go and check out sarcasticremarks.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please consider hitting like, subscribing here wherever you're listening, or hitting that notification bell if you're on YouTube to make sure you get all those notifications when we go live. We go live for every single episode, just about. I can't even remember the last time we didn't do it live. I don't know. Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. And along with Chris and James, my name is Ryan. We will catch you guys on the flip side, and we hope you guys have a good, fantastic afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you guys are listening. And I didn't forget this time. Chris, take us out. GG boys.